You have already chosen what to wear, what to answer first, what to eat, and which notification gets your last scrap of patience. Then the money decision arrives. By the end, you will see how decision fatigue quietly taxes net worth, and how to move money choices off your emptiest hour without pretending willpower is infinite. Curious neighbor says the usual line, "I know better, I just do not do better." That story hurts. It often misses the mechanism. Researchers studying 26,500 and one real credit decisions found midday choices drifted toward the easy default. They modeled about $509,000 in extra revenue for 1 month if early morning decision quality had held. Banks are not your household, the pattern is. When judgment is tired, the default wins, reject, delay, or buy the familiar thing that needs the least thinking. Here is the reframe. Decision fatigue is not drama. It is an invisible tax on choice. Every small decision spends the same mental budget your big money decision needs later. In money life, the tax shows up as 3 habits: impulse, avoidance, default. None of them require a villain personality. They only need an empty battery. Impulse is the fast yes. You are too tired to compare. The cart wins because thinking feels expensive. Impulse is not always a dramatic purchase. Often it is a string of small tired yeses that never get compared to your actual plan. Avoidance is the soft no. You postpone the account, the transfer, the quote comparison. Tomorrow feels kinder than tonight. Avoidance can feel responsible. I will do it properly later. I need a clean weekend. I should research more. Sometimes that is wisdom. Sometimes it is fatigue wearing a careful costume. Default is whatever continues without a fight. Old subscriptions, old allocations. Old I will figure investing out later. Silence becomes the plan. Many defaults never feel like a decision. They feel like the world continuing. That is why they are expensive. You stop noticing the choice tax while it keeps charging. Curious neighbor pushes back. Is this just a fancy excuse? Fair question. A mechanism is not a free pass. It is a reason to redesign the system. Consumer research on choice overload keeps returning to the same picture. About 73% of people feel overwhelmed by too many options, and about 74% have walked away from a purchase because the decision itself felt too heavy. Walking away can protect you from junk. It can also delay a useful tool, a better plan, or a boring fund transfer. Fatigue does not only make you spend, it makes you stall. Most households fall into one of 3 styles: live decisions, freeze and avoid, or design defaults. The vibe of each feels different. The long-run tax does too. Option A feels powerful, you stay flexible. Every purchase is a fresh choice. Every bill is a fresh negotiation with yourself. The trade-off is cognitive rent. You pay attention all day, then make the expensive call when attention is cheapest to lose. The hurdle is simple. Willpower is a terrible operating system for recurring money. It works on good days and quietly fails on normal ones. Live decisions feel like control. In practice, they often hand control to whoever is left standing at 9 p.m. Usually the tired version of you with the shortest path to relief. Option B feels like rest. You avoid the fight. No spreadsheet, no transfer. No awkward quote call. The trade-off is silent leakage. Avoidance feels calm in the moment and expensive in the month. Money does not pause because you are tired. The hurdle is backlog. Avoided decisions stack. Then one weekend cannot hold a month of postponed judgment. Option C feels less heroic and more adult. You decide once while clear-headed. Automation and rules carry the boring weight. The trade-off is less improvisation. You give up some spontaneous flexibility to protect the decisions that compound. The hurdle is setup pain. Designing defaults takes one honest block of attention. That is the price of not paying the tax every night. Option C usually wins for ordinary households because it moves judgment to a clearer hour and leaves repetition to systems. You still review. You just stop holding a fresh court hearing for every bill and cart. Here is the midpoint question. When you make money choices, are you asking the clear-headed version of you, or the depleted version that just wants the day to end? Act 4 is the sober part. Decision fatigue is not only a wellness phrase. In finance research, it has shown up as measurable drift toward the default. In that Royal Society Open Science study, credit officers were more willing to make the harder call earlier. Around midday, decisions drifted toward rejection, the easier default, before recovering later. Your default may not be a loan rejection. It might be keeping the plan you never chose on purpose, or buying the thing that ends the decision fastest. About $509,000 in one modeled month is not a lifestyle tip. It is evidence that timing and fatigue can move real money when the default gets easier than the careful call. Translate that home carefully. You are not a bank credit officer. You are a person with a limited daily judgment budget. When that budget is gone, your household also drifts toward whatever needs the least thinking. A widely cited estimate says adults make around 35,000 remotely conscious decisions a day. Exact counting is messy. The direction is not, your attention is under constant demand. Money often arrives late in that queue, after work, after kids, after the group chat. After the brain has already paid the choice tax. This is not a lecture to optimize every snack. It is not proof you are broken. It is not an argument against joy spending you chose on purpose. There is a difference between a planned treat and an exhausted drift purchase. One is a value, the other is a tax receipt from a tired brain. Over years, the tax compounds, not always as one disaster. Often as 1,000 small leaks, late fees, unused subscriptions, delayed investing, and I will start Monday loops. Picture a small stack. $15 on an unused subscription, $40 in tired delivery premiums, $200 that should have transferred and did not. None of those numbers are destiny. Together they show how quiet leaks become a money story. Shame keeps people tweaking budgets they already understand. Sometimes the missing lever is not another category. It is when and how often you force a fresh decision. You can own a beautiful budget and still lose to timing. If the budget lives in a spreadsheet and the impulse lives in your pocket at night, the pocket usually wins. Act 5 is practical. You do not need a perfect personality. You need a decision budget, fewer live money choices, better timing and friction, where impulse usually wins. Rail 1, automate the boring. Rent share, minimum debt payment, buffer top-up, investment transfer. If it should happen every month, stop redeciding it every month. Automation is not cold, it is kindness to future you. It moves important money before depleted you can negotiate it away. Do not automate blindly forever. Variable bills and irregular income need review. The point is to stop reopening settled decisions every night, not to sleepwalk past reality. Rail 2, decide once. A default grocery pattern. A fixed fun amount, a 48-hour wait for non-essential clicks. Rules reduce nightly courtroom drama. Write the rule where the impulse happens. If the decision lives in your phone, the rule should live there too. Decide once rules are not anti-joy. A planned fun amount is still design. It protects pleasure from becoming a late-night accident that you regret in the morning. Rail 3, put judgment-heavy money in a clearer hour. Not every household has a calm morning. Find your least depleted, reliable window and protect it like a meeting. One weekly money appointment beats 7 guilty midnights. Short, recurring, same day if you can. Decision fatigue hates rhythm. Keep the appointment tiny on purpose. Scan bills, move one transfer, check one leak. If the block becomes a life audit, depleted you will cancel it the way you cancel every other grand plan. Rail 4, add friction on purpose. Remove saved cards from the dangerous apps. Use a wish list. Make impulse take 2 steps. Convenience is wonderful until it becomes a leak. Friction is not punishment. It is a speed bump that asks whether this is a value or a tax. Pair friction with a better path. If impulse is hard and intentional joy is easy, you are not white-knuckling forever. You are steering. If this feels big, start tiny tonight. 1 automatic transfer, 1 waiting rule, 1 weekly money time. That is enough to begin cutting the tax. Do not redesign your whole personality before Tuesday. Decision budgets work because they are small and repeatable, not because they are cinematic. Use a 48-hour test on non-essentials above your personal threshold. If you still want it after sleep, food, and 1 clear hour, it may be a value. If the urge evaporates, you just avoided a tax payment. This week, watch for the moment you usually leak. Late inbox shopping, tired grocery runs, I deserve this clicks after a brutal day. That moment is your tax booth. When it happens, skip the shame spiral. Ask one coaching question. What default would have made the good choice easier than the drain choice? Back at that late money prompt, the goal was never perfect discipline. It was refusing to let an empty decision battery set your net worth. Your brain is not a villain, it is a limited battery. Spend it where judgment matters and let good defaults carry the rest. Subscribe to this channel for more clear money steps like this.